Hey everyone, it's Jamie from Independence Street NOLA and Seasons and Ritual, and I'm here with my good friend, the Crimson Cadaverous.
Hello.
Hello, happy Scorpio season.
Yes,
We
yes.
made
It
it.
will be when people are watching this, at least. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Okay, perfect.
We're in
We
the
made
last
it.
rattle of Libra season right now.
Flowing on out.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the week of 10/23 to 10/29. Big
Yes.
news of two big news. Monday, Scorpio season.
Yeah.
Saturday, lunar eclipse.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the week leading up to that for sure. So
Yes.
Monday, the moon will be in Aquarius, which I think is a great way to start Scorpio season because Pluto, who rules Scorpio, has turned direct and
Yes.
soon be entering into Aquarius in
Yes.
January. Yeah.
Yes. So definitely, those two energies are kind of connected anyways right now. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense to start the week this way, start Scorpio season that way. Because again, yeah, Pluto is playing around in Capricorn right now, but is about to go back into Aquarius. So well, I think personally the big story, of course, on Monday is the sun entering Scorpio. Um, it's always funny to me. I know this is every single year, but it always, for some reason, still makes me laugh that Halloween is in Scorpio season. I mean, we could not plan that more perfectly. Um, but the thing that I think that is really beautiful about Scorpio season happening during eclipse season is that it's like this, all these transformations that we're going through. I don't want to say we don't have to do any work, but kind of our work is to just let it happen.
Right.
And as
Just
we're kind
work
of like,
itself.
letting that eclipse magic kind of wash over us,
Mhm.
we are transforming, and the sun and Scorpio is just coming in to just kind of almost like supercharge that transformation.
Yeah. Remember the sun is our masculine counterpart. It's our self-esteem. And
Yes.
so when the sun is in these different signs that we all visit that sign, whether we have planets in them or not, the sun is
Yeah.
will be in Scorpio. And so it is giving us confidence to go into the underground and to transform, you know. Pluto is death. We hate,
Yeah.
yeah. And so,
But also rebirth. Let's
right.
remember that.
The Phoenix, right? That's the final, right, of Scorpio. And so it is important for us to start having confidence that we can do these things, that we can die and be reborn. I hate saying being reborn because it makes me sound Christian-y. I don't like that, but
Yeah, I get what you mean though. Like
okay.
there has to be almost like what other word would we even use for that? Resurrected. That still sounds Christiany though too.
Yeah.
They hijacked everything because those were words before
Rude.
Christianity. Okay.
Okay, rude. So Moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is the future,
Yeah.
so see what comes in on Monday.
Right. Like
And
we're
see,
transforming for the future. Like we
right.
are preparing ourselves for that.
Right. See what needs to be let go. See how you can get there. See how you can get to the future.
Yes. And just a little bit of awareness on Monday before we move along. I just want to say that Monday is Snow Leopard Day.
Oh,
So we are honoring snow leopards, which is one of the more elusive wildcats that unfortunately is losing their, habitat. We haven't even fully figured out a lot about them. And unfortunately, definitely needs some attention so that we can learn more about them.
and just a shout out to you, Helen. Tell everybody the rescue that you work for here in New Orleans because you often put on your Instagram page ways that like people can donate to this cat rescue or animal rescue, or is it just mainly cats?
It's cats and dogs.
Cats and dogs,
Yeah,
okay.
so we've got dogs too. A lot of the dogs are fostered out. So yeah, definitely want to give a shout out to Big Easy Animal Rescue here in New Orleans in the Marigny. They're off of Burgundy in Spain.
Okay.
They do a lot of really good work. We've been volunteering over there recently, just try to do a little bit of good.
Yes.
But the cats live there, so you can go into it's a pet shop actually. So you can go in there, buy your pet supplies, your food, your treats, things like that. But also they've got cats in there. So if you want to have a little pet therapy, pet some cats, get them, acclimated to the world, so to speak. That's definitely a really good opportunity to do that. And they definitely are always taking donations. All of, the proceeds from the sales in the shop go to the animals. Any donations obviously go to them and their care. So definitely something that if you're here in New Orleans, please check them out if you need to, buy anything at a pet store.
Yes.
Also, if you're looking for a cat or a dog, we always have fosters and adoptions.
They do really good work. And if you follow Helen on Instagram, she often puts in there she's doing fundraising for them. And if you don't follow Helen on Instagram, you need to, because not only does she give you daily updates of what's going on in the sky, but she's also giving you the opportunity to help some pets in need.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Tuesday.
Yes.
Moon in Aquarius. But what's Moon in
Yeah.
Aquarius? Does it stay in Aquarius all day, or does it move into Pisces?
Moves into Pisces, and
And then-
that to me is where the interesting thing starts happening.
Mhm.
So as soon as the moon moves into Pisces, this is when we start that thing we were talking about, where all of the planets are going to be in feminine signs.
That's awesome.
It's really awesome. And it's going to basically continue. Obviously, the moon's going to kind of dip out and go into like masculine signs,
Right.
go back and forth. But it's going to basically stay in this place for the next 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So during the lunar eclipse that we have on Saturday, which we'll get to that, all planets are going to be feminine.
Mhm.
And I noticed this last year when I was doing the whole, thing for the whole year of like where all the planets are going to be and stuff like that, doing my calendar.
Yeah.
And I noticed that and I'm like, I truly do not know how often this happens. So don't ask me.
I
Maybe
know.
it happens
I get
here
it.
and I've never noticed it.
Because I'll be the one to be like, Helen, when's the last time this happened? And you're like, not now.
Normally I know, but I have no
Yeah.
idea. But maybe I'm just noticing it because it's significant. So not only is that happening during eclipse season, but that's happening during Scorpio season. So transformation.
Mhm.
I'm going to tell you, like, to me, the two things that keep coming up is divine feminine rising and phoenix rising.
Mhm.
And I feel like if we have those two intertwined, it's almost like a death of like an ego death of like the toxic patriarchy, femininity type of thing, and like a rebirth of something that actually truly is divine.
I agree with that. So this is a time for everyone to really, especially this week leading up to the eclipse, leading up to Halloween, All Saints Day, Day of the Dead. This is a really good time because all the planets will be in feminine signs to really get into that mode of creation.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled a hermit card and it was like, it's time to be a hermit, for the next, it had a full moon on it. So I'm saying till the full moon. But it's really this time to go within and get deep, you guys. And
Yeah.
also call in for peace, call in for things that people say can't happen, because this is the time to really
Yes.
focus on yourself. Pisces is dreams, right?
Yeah.
Pisces is that higher octave. So Tuesday, Moon in Pisces, go higher. Start
Mm-hmm.
making those notes, make those lists.
And same day, we've got a conjunction with Saturn. The moon is conjunct Saturn. That's like locking that in, establishing like actual foundations of something it really just feels like something very, okay, this is what I keep hearing overall, what we're doing as a collective, that we're leaving behind the old ways so we can embrace the ancient ways.
That makes sense to me.
When I talk about the ancient ways, I talk about the natural order of things.
Right.
When we lived harmoniously on this planet, it did exist. It did happen.
It was there.
Lived harmoniously on this planet.
Yeah.
So it can happen again. And in a way, I'm going to tell you right now, it is happening. It is happening again. And like, I think what we're seeing right now is like, the resistance to it is just the death rattle. It really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I know our viewers are more in tuned and more in touch with this. So don't get distracted, you guys. And notice if you are getting distracted,
Yeah.
you as the viewer that I'm talking to, it's really important when you get into this energy. That's what help creates this. They want you to believe that one person can't, but one person can, because we're all energetically. Teach a man to fish, you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing. If you yourself can fish, and you can teach others how to fish, we're all gonna be fine.
Yep.
Okay, Wednesday,
Yes.
Moon in Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be opposite Venus,
Yep.
who is in Virgo,
Yep.
but Moon in Pisces will also be conjunct Neptune, its ruler.
Yes. Which I think, to me, there's other things going on that day, but I think that's the main thing I would want to talk about personally, because even if we take the moon out of this, obviously the Venus and Neptune are not exactly opposite one another. That will probably happen next week, I believe. But those two energies opposing each other is really interesting, because they are actually, Neptune is the higher octave of Venus.
Mm-hmm.
So like Venus, speaks of love, and Neptune is like love of the whole, love of, unconditional love of like all and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like something about like the way that we love, we're coming to understand something different within that and feel something different within that.
That's really beautiful, Helen. That Moon in Pisces will be opposite Venus, correct?
Mm-hmm.
In Virgo.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when we talk about those oppositions, we see it as what do we say, like a chess match?
Yes.
Right? I see this part is almost like because now I'm talking about the moon in Pisces opposite Venus.
Yeah.
So the moon and Neptune will be close to each other. That means they're conjunct.
Yes.
Okay. So but you're saying next week was when Venus will be opposite Neptune.
Yes. Yeah. Venus needs to move up a little bit to get to that point. But yeah.
So right now, because the moon in Pisces is conjunct Neptune and will be opposite Venus and Virgo, I see like this as having contractions.
Oh, yeah. That's a good way of thinking about it. Yeah.
So,
and almost like we're kind of like birthing this new way of loving.
Yeah. Because a lot of times when people have children, I don't have any, but I love my nieces and nephews to pieces. But there's a little bit of contractions before this starts to happen, a little bit of uncomfortable, like you're getting ready. Okay, we're going to do this. And then if you believe everything you read on Facebook and Instagram, once that baby comes in, it is like love you've never experienced before in your entire life. Right.
Right.
So we're having these contractions to go to this love that you have spoke of.
Yeah. And I think the opposition part is those contractions. Yeah. Yeah.
So just be ready for Wednesday, you guys.
Yeah.
Whatever you're birthing, it's moving in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, Thursday, the moon will be in Pisces, but then we'll move into Aries, which is great. Getting this moving.
Yes. And I feel like that's a great way to like kind of prepare for the upcoming lunar eclipse, because it's like burn some shit off, burn it away, clear the space. And there's really not a whole lot going on Thursday besides the square with Vesta, which I think is great, because it's like challenging us to be true with our devotions. Like only what's true to us should we bother devoting ourselves to. And it's like the challenge is letting the things go that aren't in that category.
Yeah. That's a great way to read that. Okay, Saturday, the 28th. Oh shit, did I forget Friday?
Yeah. We got to talk about Friday, because we're continuing what I talked about, the burning off. And this to me is like a grand burning off, because we've got the moon in Aries, conjunct Chiron, North Node, and Eris. So Chiron is, the great healer, is going to help us heal up the past traumas, heal up those old wounds. North Node is going to be like the path forward. And Eris is like clearing the path. She may be a little chaotic doing it, but she's like, I'm shaking shit up because we don't need this anymore. Go away.
Yep.
Get it out of the way. And actually, what's interesting is in opposition to Pallas Athena at the same time. And it's like, so we can be methodical in this clearing away. It doesn't have to be like a wildfire that's going to burn everything down. We can say this one space needs to be burned away. We're done with it.
I like how you said that too. And because also Pallas Athena, I'm saying like the best plan within you is going to rise. It's going to win.
Yes, agreed.
So don't get discouraged if like you're like, oh, maybe this, maybe that. Just ask for the best plan.
Right.
It's Pallas Athena is in Libra, so ask for the best plan that's going to keep you in balance.
Balance.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then get things moving.
Absolutely.
Because we're doing it. That you can, we are. So okay, now Saturday. Now Saturday.
Yes, that's Saturday now. So that's a big day.
Yes.
It is another day where we're gonna have all the planets in feminine signs.
Mhm.
You know, we're gonna move out obviously when the moon's in Aries, but once the
We're
moon
moving.
moves out of Aries into Taurus that day,
Mhm.
once again, all planets in feminine signs, preparing us for the moon sun opposition, which is the full moon lunar eclipse.
Yes.
It is the culmination, obviously, of this eclipse season,
Mhm.
but it's also the culmination of the Taurus Scorpio eclipse axis that we've been experiencing for the last 2 years, actually. I think it was November of 2021 when we had the first, I want to say it was the Scorpio solar eclipse,
Yeah.
was the in like that line. And we've been on that axis, you know, between Taurus and Scorpio, you know, the very tangible things versus the mysterious things, and, you know, digging in,
Mhm.
going deep, transforming, all that stuff. So if this is that final eclipse in that cycle, something is ending with this. And
Mhm.
it's a lunar eclipse. So again, the cycle's ending and the eclipse itself is about endings. Some big's ending right now.
Right. And so just know that you guys, old ways, like we keep talking about old ways. The moon, of course, is in Taurus, so old ways of how we thought about ourselves, old ways about how we valued ourselves, old ways of how we thought others should value us, and it is this creation. I always see Venus as creative. You guys know this. In Taurus is fixed earth, right? And so we've been having these eclipses because again, Taurus has been in it to win it for years
Right.
since Uranus has moved in there. And so
Yes. And
so
if we're
all
talking Taurus as the earth,
right,
this is about the earth. This is
right.
like, you know, how we are treating the earth, how we're living on this earth. And you talk about the old ways. The old way was to shit on it and deplete it. And now we need to go back to the ancient ways where we live harmoniously with it.
We lived with it. We lived with the cycles.
Right.
And
And
that
it
again,
wasn't something that we had to have a calendar on. We just knew. We worked with, you know, we worked with the earth like every other entity on this planet does.
yeah.
Like the birds don't have a calendar, they just know when to fly south. And
Right.
we can too. I really believe we can too.
Yeah. I agree with you. So are you going to do another show on the eclipse?
I'll probably just do my daily write up actually.
Okay. Which everyone will read because they're going to start following you now on Instagram. Okay.
Good.
Uh,
You know what else is really interesting to me on that date?
mhm.
So obviously square from Pluto. Do you hear all those crows? I don't know if that's picking up. There's a whole bunch of crows. Hello, crows.
Hello,
Yes, we
crows. They've been very loud
um,
today.
they are square with Pluto
Okay.
right before the moon moves into Taurus.
Hmm.
And also Mercury and Mars are forming an opposition to Jupiter the same day.
Which is good. I think that's good.
I think it's fantastic because again, the square with Pluto right before the eclipse is going to help us move all the shit.
Right.
It's going to veil it. It's going to be like, all right, here it is. Are we getting rid of this or are we keeping it? You know, like you hold something up when you're moving, like keeping or throwing it away. What are we
What
doing?
box? Yeah.
But then that Mercury Mars conjunction or Mercury Mars opposite Jupiter, let's say it that way. Mercury Mars opposite Jupiter. That's like choosing the higher narrative, having the power to choose a narrative that keeps us optimistic and faithful,
Yep.
that keeps us envisioning something bigger and brighter versus like
Something
whatever
doom and
the hell we've been told we're supposed to be envisioning.
right. Jupiter is optimism, but it's gift, luck, faith,
Keeping
money.
the faith,
Mercury's communication. Mars is
right? Keeping
movement.
the faith that we are able to discern for ourselves, keeping the faith that we have the power to discern for ourselves.
And I think that it's good it's in opposition because that's going to keep us grounded.
Yes.
You know, like really look over everything instead of just being like, woo, Jupiter,
Mhm.
here we come, you know,
Oh yeah, totally grounded. Yeah.
which is also good because it's an eclipse.
Yep. Yeah, we will need that grounding energy because this eclipse, I know we say this about eclipses all the time, but this one in particular is here to shake some shit up. And I keep feeling ready for it. Like, I don't know about you.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't feel nervous. I don't feel any
no,
anxiety.
I'm almost like, all right, come on. Like,
Yeah,
let's do this.
yeah,
And I think that's the energy that we want to all try and hop on is that, like, I'm not afraid of change. I'm like,
right.
come on, let's do this.
I think we're all ready for a new narrative.
Yes.
And so even though the narratives we've been working on within ourselves, okay, we're ready for that new narrative to come in, but we're
Mm-hmm.
also ready for a new narrative with like countries, our politics, you know, like things need to just things can work. They just need to
Yeah.
start, you know, like we're ready for a new narrative.
Mhm.
Um, and so
Agree.
when Taurus, this eclipse again, fixed Earth, when these fixed signs, these things go through them. Scorpio's fixed water, Aquarius is fixed air, Leo fixed fire. So when they get shooken up, like you said, this axis, Scorpio Taurus axis,
It's such a weird language.
yeah, for 2 years. Uranus
Yeah.
has been in Taurus since 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I actually think the word access makes more sense because it's like we have access to that energy. Like, I think that's the thing. We're getting like an access to this energy that we have to like work with in a way that we don't normally get to
Mhm.
because it's like it's pushing us to work with it, basically. That's what happens when you're on those, like, the eclipse axis.
Yeah. So let it keep moving through, you guys.
Yeah.
The reality of it is this, if you're not sure, the eclipse will show you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
That's
just put
what
it
keeps
out there.
coming through for me is I don't feel like I need to do anything right now
Yeah.
except for be present.
Hmm.
Like even the things I know need to go away,
Hmm.
I'm actually not taking action to make them go away. I'm just like, they will go away
Do you know why you don't need to take action?
because
Because
it's already.
all the planets are in feminine signs. And that's
Yes.
receiving, that's receiving, that's
Yeah,
receiving.
exactly. You're right. That's very right.
So we got this.
Yes.
Okay. And then once we receive all the information, we'll take action.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, friends. Is there anything else you want to say for the Saturday?
Not Saturday, but you just said something that's going to play into Sunday. So go
Okay,
ahead.
let's talk about Sunday.
Um, well, the thing that you just said about what did you just say about thinking about taking action? What did you just say? No, just
So because all those planets are in feminine signs, that's us receiving, 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 and
oh
then
yeah.
we'll know when to take action.
Yes, knowing when to take action. Mercury conjunct Mars on
There you go.
Sunday.
There you go.
Knowing when to take action.
Yep.
And I think that might be the thing that like, okay, this is what I'm gonna say. Like the advice is coming down from wherever, Saturday, you don't need to take action on Saturday. I could almost like, I mean, obviously like brush your teeth, those kinds of things, but like
Normal. Yeah.
I don't think you need to take action at all on Saturday. I think you just need to be present and feel it.
Hmm.
And I think by Sunday, we're going to know what the action is.
Hmm.
Even if there's tension, even if there's like, I got to do something, I don't think we're going to have what it is until the next day for real. Like, I
Okay.
think it's going to take a minute to reveal itself.
When Mercury and Mars are conjunct, that means they're right next to each other.
Yep.
That's a conjunction, you guys. And then they're both in Scorpio.
Yes.
Mercury and Mars are both in Scorpio.
Yep.
So, like you said, things will be revealed. That's
Yep.
Scorpio, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll know
And
which, go ahead, take action.
Mercury Mars conjunction is opposite the moon. So
Mhm.
it's like again, we're gonna feel it. We're gonna know. Like we're gonna almost like I want to say we're gonna feel it in our bones because like Taurus is in our sun, so that plays in with that. But like I feel like we're gonna feel in our bones what action we need to take, and it's not gonna be this thing. We're just gonna know.
Yeah.
And that's why I think whatever we're feeling leading up to the eclipse, I'm gonna say back burner it. let it play out
Yeah,
first.
because I almost want to say, like, not almost, I am going to say, because that moon is still in Taurus and Mercury and Mars are conjunct in Scorpio, and they'll be opposite the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Taurus fixed earth, and then Scorpio fixed water, right?
Oh,
Again, I mean, people can say like this is really tough, but I see it as like, okay, you need to sit down and you need to make a plan. Like
mhm.
things are going to become clearer how to make this plan, because
Yeah.
fixed earth and fixed water, we need both of them, right? They're part of the elements.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't feel like it could be a tough day, you guys. It's eclipse season.
I think
Um,
it's gonna be tough if we're trying to force things.
okay.
I think that's more where it's going to be. It's like, I'm not saying it won't be tough otherwise, but I
Yeah.
think the toughness is really coming from the like trying to force things versus just letting the things that need to happen come to us.
That's a good way of seeing it too, because Taurus is never in a hurry.
No,
Right. It's the
no.
bull.
Taurus is not in a hurry. And again, that's something that's really important to remember with eclipses in general.
Mm.
They are, who said it? Somebody said this that I follow. I can't remember who, and I'm sorry I can't quote them on this, but that eclipses are like interrupted full moons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that makes sense to me because it's like it does take about 6 months or sometimes more for that energy to totally play out.
Right.
So, like the things that we're realizing that are getting revealed to us during this lunar eclipse, it's not all going to be figured out the next day. It's not
Right.
like we're going to be like, oh, okay, well, I just got rid of all the stuff. Okay, I'm good.
Just throw out the garbage.
It could take 6 months or more to get rid of whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
or transform whatever it is, or move whatever it is. And I think that's important to remember that, like, in a way, especially because it's Taurus, we're playing the long game on this one.
Yeah.
And this may be just a time for us kind of setting intentions and just kind of regrounding ourselves.
Yeah. Setting like, because Mercury and Mars in Scorpio, they're going to want to talk. They're going to want to talk feelings.
Mm-hmm.
How does this make me feel? Do I feel like, I can get this done in 6 months? Um, just those things, right? But again, like you said, I mean, that's kind of like the action, like, okay,
Right.
kind of sitting with it.
Yes, exactly. And I think I can't emphasize enough that just keeps coming through for me to, give that advice of like, actually just sit with this moon because because it's a lunar eclipse, it's gonna feel like we're supposed to do something. And I think the do something is just sit with it. Be a Taurus.
Be a
Just sit
Taurus.
with it.
I love that advice. Be a
Don't
Taurus.
be in a rush. There's no rush here. Nothing,
Creative.
there's nothing time sensitive about any of this.
Yeah. I love it. I love
Right.
it.
Taurus reminds us of this. Taurus is like the snail. They're just gonna take as long as it's gonna take.
Lots of deep breaths,
Yes.
sighs, just
Yeah.
sitting in the
Sipping on
grass.
the tea and
Yeah,
just being. Yes.
I like it. Okay,
Yeah.
friends, that's this week. This is the first week of Scorpio season. Doesn't disappoint.
Nope, it does not. And, I'm here for it personally.
Me too. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or would like to book a reading with me or Helen, we both do tarot and we both do astrology. So take your pick. You can get in touch with me on Instagram, YouTube, or my websites. And of course, Helen has YouTube and also her Instagram. Please go follow her too, so you can help support the Big Easy.
Yes, we're gonna tag them in this. Let's
Okay.
do that.
Okay. Pet rescue for sure. Till then, you guys have a happy eclipse season. I'll be back on Wednesday, and then I will make a video on the eclipse itself. So till then,
Yay.
yay. And counting down to Halloween.
Yeah.
Samhain, one of our favorite times as well.
Yes. The veils are lifted.
The veils are lifted. Perfect timing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Till then, have a great week.
Bye-bye.